This week's episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by GoDaddy,
Squarespace,
and Brutal Legend. Don't forget, tonight, June 2nd, the first night of E3 at 7 p.m., you can chat with the legendary game designer Tim Schafer by going to e3.brutallegend.com.
The most straight-ahead thing I can think of is Jason Statham is,
Van Damme.
No. Well, first I thought Jason Statham is Van Damme because he's the martial artist of the group.
And he's in a lot of really cheesy movies.
But, exactly. So, you could say that.
Or he's the
But the other thing is, Jason Statham is in some serious movies. That would make him a little bit like Stallone, because Stallone was in The Rocky. And
The Rocky.
So Stallone was in Rocky, and like Ryan's, and Nighthawks, and then he was in eventually Copland. Matt Damon.
Ooh.
Is Harrison Ford.
All right.
Because he is in some legitimately good dramas and awesome action star.
Yes, he's got his Regarding Henrys in there.
Right, exactly.
I hear you.
So LaBeouf, this is the interesting one. LaBeouf is Bruce Willis. What? Because we had these iconic action figures in the 80s, and then Bruce Willis came along with Die Hard and reeled it up. He was like, I am just your ordinary average Joe.
LaBeouf is no Willis.
LaBeouf makes it, he brings humor to it, and
what
makes
you're
it...
saying makes me believe you are correct.
Right.
But what you are saying, I don't believe is correct.
Schwarzenegger is basically the Rock. I mean, basically, that moment in The Rundown was where Schwarzenegger and The Rock
where's The Rock in your...
The Rock is Schwarzenegger.
The Rock is
Scorpion King is Conan the Barbarian.
Yes.
And, he's the big...
This is genius. I think this might be the most intellectually stimulating conversation you've ever had with me.
Or Vin Diesel is Schwarzenegger.
Oh my God!
Totally Rad Show. Your mission is to review the movie Drag Me to Hell and the video game Infamous.
Living normal lives are recruited by a team of super spies. Their missions classified, but you may surmise they battle evil by quoting movie lines. Game and TV guides are used like knives to quell the rise of demon samurais. We know it sounds contrived, but we tell no lies. It's as the name implies, the Totally Rad Show.
Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Totally Rad Show, episode number 115. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Jeff Canada.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
Totally Rad Show's weekly dose of all things rad. We wait for it to be summer and then go have a giant picnic of information.
Woohoo!
Basically sandwiches of knowledge.
It's so nice out.
It's awesome. So this is the first official day of summer, and so we decided to shoot outside. But also, we are currently undergoing a massive restructuring in the corporate structure of the garage.
I put my foot down and demanded air conditioning.
So we literally have guys in the garage doing construction right now. This was the perfect opportunity because next week we're going to be doing a huge E3 show from the floor of E3.
Right.
So we weren't going to be in the garage.
Right.
So that's a 1 week. Then we thought, well, it's summer. We should do a show from outside. 2 weeks. So theoretically we'll be done and back in the studio with great audio and air conditioning. You're welcome, Jeff. You're welcome, Jeff.
But today we have a lovely picnic area.
Yes! These are some crazy picnic baskets.
If this is your first time watching the Totally Rad Show, this is
a little
very different. And we encourage you to go back and watch past episodes.
Well, let's get into talking about some awesome, awesome things.
And let's start a forest fire.
Hey!
This week in movies, we are talking about Drag Me to Hell. We won't be talking about Up because of our crazy
What's
E3
up with that?
schedule. We may be missing out on a lot of movies. So some weeks we're gonna be crammed. Some weeks we may miss a couple.
They just shouldn't have scheduled so many good movies during E3.
Yeah.
Really, what were they thinking?
It's rough. But Drag Me to Hell. So when I was a kid and I was finally allowed to see R-rated movies,
Little
I
Danny Two
remember
Strikes.
walking through the supermarket with my mom and seeing a VHS tape with a cover that had a skull with human eyes on it. And it was the cover for Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn. I knew nothing about the Evil Dead franchise, and I was pleasantly surprised with a hysterical and horrific movie. Sam Raimi was put on the map with Evil Dead. It's sort of ironic that he came up around the same time as the Coen brothers and had a similar start where he made the short film and raised money through dentists and lawyers and made this movie that just floored everyone.
Theirs was Blood Simple.
Theirs was Blood Simple, Raimi's was The Evil Dead.
Right.
Since that time of making his Evil Dead trilogy, these 3 horror films, he's done some serious movies, a couple superhero ones, but now he's returned to
A couple
form.
small superhero ones you may or may not have heard of called Spider-Man.
Right.
1 through
And,
3.
like the Coen brothers, I think, doing No Country for Old Men in sort of returning to their thriller roots and doing their ultimate thriller, Raimi has now gone back and said, I'm gonna do the ultimate horror film. And that is
Raimi style.
Raimi style. And that
Right.
is Drag Me to Hell. It stars Alison Lohman as a loan officer in a bank who is cursed by a gypsy woman, and she has 3 days to figure out what the hay is going on
This
before
is why
she
we
gets
shoot outside, by the way. Gecko.
before she gets dragged to hay. So
Really? That sounds so much nicer than Drag to Hell.
Justin Long is also in this movie.
Yep.
Jeff.
You went with Drag to Hay rather than Drag to Heck?
Well, I said hey. You guys missed because with the gecko. I said what the hay is going on.
Oh.
What the hay did you think of this movie?
Well, it's interesting that you said the ultimate horror movie, because I certainly didn't think it was the ultimate horror movie. I think it's one very specific, very simple story that almost could have been a really awesome Twilight Zone episode or something. It certainly doesn't seem to me to be the ultimate horror movie, nor does it, I think, intend to be. But boy, is it a load of fun to watch. There is so much wit and humor and inventiveness in this movie that it is absolutely a barrel of laughs. I mean, it's almost more comedy than it is horror movie, but it's that wonderful horror where you're laughing because you feel uncomfortable, and there's also something hilarious that happened, and I was scared and it relieves my tension, but I'm scared again. There is so many brilliant ideas on display. A sequence, the fight in the car between the gypsy woman. There are ideas there that are so smart. There is one shot that is a close-up of our hero girl sleeping and a fly that is so brilliant. You wonder, how did no one ever think of this before? Because it's so visually perfect and simple. But it's not perfect. It's so much fun that you forgive its faults, which are that the setup is very clunky and on the nose and deliberate, and all the characters are, kind of grand stereotypes of what they represent rather than actual people. But really, all that goes out the window when you're having so much fun watching this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this movie is classic Sam Raimi horror movie. It's funny. There are genuine scares, although I felt that he relied a lot on the audio cue as the reason why people got scared, which works and is cool. Jeff, you're right. There are things in this movie where you're like, that is not only just brilliant concept that is so much fun because it's so easy and you can hold it in your hand, but also I felt like there was a lot of really cool. Everything felt very deliberate, like even deliberate camera work that was very sort of smart in displaying how things were going to be happening, which I think is also a very Sam Raimi-esque kind of thing.
The camera is always, in early Coen brothers, they both shared this aesthetic of the camera being a character in and of
Most
itself.
definitely. And I will tell you that The Raimis love themselves some Dutch angles. I love it.
Didn't
It's like, put a touch
wasn't
on that.
that old apocryphal story of how they strapped the camera to a piece of plywood
As the monster
yeah,
in Evil Dead.
2x4, yeah.
Oh, that's so fun. But so I really enjoyed this movie. I think you're right. There are definite faults for the movie, but you're having so much fun from beginning to end. You sort of forgive it, those faults. You know, I mean, it's a little bit much that this poor girl says no to the second loan extension and gets cursed to be dragged to hell.
Yeah.
But you get over those things because it kind of escalates and is fun. And you know, I thought the acting was really good, and it was definitely fun.
Yeah, I think this is an incredible movie, an incredible horror film. I think Sam Raimi is a maestro, and this is his masterpiece. And I'm using a music analogy very specifically because he is so in tune with the rhythm of the scare. First of all, there's more scares per minute. There's more
Yeah.
SPM in this horror film than any of the last decade. There's a lot that rely on audio, and I think to this day, even this movie does not top The Evil Dead as having the most inventive sound design. So it's also a very Raimi thing to have that audio. But the premise, let me just say, so there's a lot of that masterful, like, we know something scary is gonna happen, and then it does happen, and it does still scare you despite knowing it's gonna happen. And there's a lot of scares that you didn't even know you were supposed to feel suspenseful, and they come, and that is a master knowing exactly when to do it to you.
Yeah.
But also, there are two things in this that this movie does
Did it
that
to me
no
right.
other horror film has done.
Yeah.
And that is, I've said many times in the show, special effects do not scare me.
Right.
In this movie,
Right.
he made special effects scary, and I applaud him for that.
You know, it's
Not only that, but the daylight is scary. Not specifically the daylight, but he set a lot of his horror film in the daytime, and it is scary, which
That's
a few movies
hard.
have tried to do before.
Yeah.
Notably, something Session 9, which I didn't think was that great.
Oh yeah, I didn't like that. That was the sort of like
but
everybody killing each other kind of thing.
Sort of. It's an insane asylum thing.
Oh,
But
wrong one then. Yes, I know now.
But Raimi did it, and I just think, absolutely, I think it.
I want to comment on your comment about
for
the special
And
effects
then I'll
because
comment on that comment.
there's so much. There's only one sequence where I was disappointed, and there's so much of the movie where, although intellectually I know most of it was probably done digitally, it doesn't feel digital. There's a lot he does with shadows that feel very old school, and a lot of the stuff feels practical. And there's only one sequence, that anvil sequence
Anvil.
in the
Yeah,
garage.
yeah.
That where it really feels digital, and I was like, it's too bad.
I think
because
those effects were less finished.
Well,
Also,
the movie's
I-
out,
But that
so.
was very. That was very. Yeah. I think the Sam Raimi-ness, the goofy, the screwballness of it, will distance some people from the movie.
I agree. The good news is I think they've
he's
been
an auteur.
advertising that, and I think they've been advertising that. I think the thing that is going to really trip up this movie would be people going in thinking they're going to get a flat out, Texas Chainsaw Massacre horror
But
fest.
it's so much smarter than that. It has such
It's
wit.
so much smarter.
And what you're talking about
it
him
reminds me of
sort
that-
of conducting the
Yeah.
audience is so right, because what they do with information, where there's times when you're way ahead of what's going to happen. You're like, oh my God, don't let that happen, don't let that, and then it does, with the cat and stuff. And then there are other times like the pitch perfect ending, which I didn't see coming, and I don't even
Did
want to
you?
talk about it too much because
I was very upset with. We can talk about that off camera.
Yeah.
I definitely saw the ending coming,
Me
and
too.
I was
But Heather
upset
didn't.
that
I didn't either.
I'm
and
shocked
I
that-
thought it felt very
me too.
Twilight Zone, which I liked.
Interesting.
Yeah, super fun. Super,
Yes,
super
and
fun.
I mean, honestly, have you guys been scared by a horror movie? I mean, The Orphanage had a few
We've
moments.
done a lot of horror movies, and I was hood up, fingers in ears, like, don't really want to watch this part. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
I was never
full on.
Since
scared. I was just
adulthood-
uncomfortable.
Since
but that's-
adulthood,
I mean, I
I've
was
yet
squidgy, like grossed out.
All right.
kinda.
Well, I will
for me,
say,
I was
since
shocked,
adulthood,
like,
I have yet to
scared.
be really genuinely scared by a horror film, and this really. I mean, I am so excited that I could feel like I did when I was a kid watching this
the movie that gave me that experience, Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
When that came out, I was like, I can't believe I can feel like this
but
again.
Sixth Sense was I
like
agree,
philosophically
but it was only a few moments, and this, like I said, scares per minute. Like
It was
so
rare,
relentless.
and that there was no downtime because I'd always do this and I'd be like, I can tell this is one of those moments, and then something would happen and somebody would show up and I'd be like, oh, okay, what? You know what I mean?
Maestro, masterpiece. I want to also talk to you guys. There's been a movie. There's a movie that has been in the works for I don't know
27
how many years, and it's been finished for I don't know how many years. And it used to be called 5/25/77.
Right.
And it was the movie about
A
the
really
summer
disproportionate person.
the summer before Star Wars was released. It's now been
It's actually a
shortened.
movie about Grimace.
It's now been shortened to 77. Still doesn't have a distributor. The trailer is playing.
Oh, I just
It is?
Yeah.
yeah.
It is.
Good. That'll cover up
Only
me getting
green
hit in the
grass.
head.
It stars John Francis Daley, who was the protagonist from Freaks and Geeks, and he's
Right.
now resurfaced in a few films.
But not as big as the other Freaks and Geeks cast members that have.
No, he's not yet hit it as big as them. And it's about a kid who knows that Star Wars is coming out, is excited about it, and none of his friends can catch the fever that is about to be.
Well, and he's also a filmmaker. I didn't
Star
realize it
Wars.
was about a young filmmaker
Right.
who wants to kind of,
And it's written and directed by Patrick Reed Johnson, who made one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite coming-of-age movies called Angus.
Oh, yeah.
That is just. I'm very excited for this movie because that movie was so perfectly executed about the teen experience.
Yeah.
And feeling like an outsider and all the things that the Star Wars film should be as well. I was very disappointed in Fanboys, and I was always looking forward to this movie as it appeared to be the better one of the two.
Yeah.
The trailer didn't seem to have any funny moments, yet there were some.
Well, it looks like it's
insightful.
trying for a different thing than Fanboys. Fanboys look like the joke. Jokey
Star Trek
version.
versus Star Wars. Meh.
And this is definitely seems more like the Adventureland version.
Yeah,
well,
Adventureland
plus
version
it's
is a
set.
good point.
Plus it's set in '77. I mean, Fanboys was people who were fans, and the new one coming out. With this, it's like the original one coming out, so there aren't any Star Wars fans. I mean, theoretically, there shouldn't be any Star Wars fans in this movie.
Right.
None
Well,
of
other than
them.
the people that are getting excited knowing that
Right.
George Lucas did THX,
Right.
things like that. That's what this kid's getting
It's
excited
interesting
about.
to me that every generation, sort of the filmmakers are inspired by
Previous.
one seminal work, and
Right.
Scorsese talks about being inspired by.
All those guys, all those Star Wars generation people, the people that made the Star Wars generation movies that we were inspired by,
Right.
were inspired by Kurosawa and Howard
Yeah.
Hawks and
Right.
those.
But
folks.
none of them made movies about going to see those movies. They all made original work, and we're getting all these guys who are inspired by these movies making these very self-referential movies about that exact experience. And as much as it sounds weird for me to say because clearly we're on this show, and
Right.
I helped create this show, and this
Right.
is what we do, kind of too.
Right.
But it's almost. I'm a little less excited now because it feels like, okay, we get it.
Right.
Everybody felt so great about these movies coming out, but I want to see you do something that is
what is it that
moving it
you
forward.
made passionate about?
It's interesting though that first of all, Scorsese has made a lot of documentaries, interestingly enough, about
You're absolutely
those. I feel like Spielberg has made movies that revere those of old, but anyway, what I found interesting about the movie 77 is that it looks like he's convincing everyone else that this is going to be cool. A lot of people that think it's not cool. And it's interesting that now, we said when we accept our Webby Awards, nerd is the new cool, and now it really has become cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And it seems like the movie might be magnifying just that specific sentiment,
Maybe.
which I'm really
I hope it's
into.
good.
There's interesting stuff, but
you
the
are-
trailer
I
I
didn't
don't
get me
remember
excited.
at that time using the word geek in the same way we use it
No.
now. I remember nerd was the word that
wasn't
I was
alive.
always ashamed of.
Yeah, I was only 1 year, so if anybody was calling me a geek or nerd then,
But I mean,
they
even
were
as we were
assholes.
growing up,
because I was 1.5. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then becomes a man. Then becomes a man.
So we're here with one Daniel F. Trachtenberg,
The third.
The third.
And I'm Bill S. Preston Esquire.
And I'm Bill S. President Esquire.
Here's the thing.
Dan needs some
Word
stuff.
word got around that Brutal Legend, the sponsor of this very show,
This here episode.
is giving away
A $10,000
Tenacious D
damn near best guitar ever made.
Jack
I'd say.
Not
Black
this.
guitar.
Not this.
We are using a stunt stand-in, which is my Fender Stratocaster from way back in the
We
day.
suggested, hey, why don't you guys let us use that $10,000 guitar and
Yeah,
let
they
Dan
do.
learn how to play on it?
Is this the
And
guitar
for some reason
from
they said no.
Wayne's World? I've never played guitar, and I think any dude, any bro in a college dorm knows the
Yeah.
most manly thing you can do
Hell
to
yeah.
get chicks is to play the
Sweet.
guitar.
And
Sweet,
lucky
sweet
you,
geek fiddle.
your two best bros know how to play.
Booyah! No, wait,
Well,
premature.
we don't want to-
Premature.
My first question to you guys is,
This is a
where
guitar.
is the blue, orange, green, and red buttons?
Right.
Right.
So we thought, even though in Brutal Legend, there's a lot of really like classic
I'm just
heavy metal tracks.
You're
I'm just
doing your
scoring the
composing?
speech here.
Nice. We thought the best thing before you can run, you have to learn how to walk.
Yes.
Or in this case, before you can run, you have to learn how to rock. So we thought it would be a nice introduction
Homage.
to have you learn your own theme song. The Dan Becomes a Man theme song
That's funny.
that
Baby steps.
Alex and I
Composed.
composed.
Baby steps to rock
And
and
by
roll.
composed, you mean threw together 3 chords.
Yes.
This is a 3-chord song, which, many people have said.
There's a lot of famous 3-chord songs.
All you need is 3 chords and you got yourself a
lot of
100
Beatles songs.
Yes. So Dan, what you're going to learn today is the G,
Okay.
the C,
Okay.
and the E.
So what are notes? Are these metals things in each
No,
different
those are
notes?
frets.
Frets.
Those are frets.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Yeah. yeah.
Certain
This is a 6-string guitar.
notes. This is a standard 6-string.
This is the 6-string.
Not the
Almost
elusive
The old
8-string.
6-string. I'm a 6-string samurai.
Almost as if you would be able to tell just by looking at it how many strings there
I know.
are.
I love that he looks down and goes,
Standard.
is this a 6-string?
Just making sure this is a standard 6-string guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what happens now? What do we do?
Now you play. Go ahead.
All right. Shred a bit. All right.
Wait,
so
no,
we
no,
have
I want
the
to hear
electric-
first, before we start the teaching, I want to hear.
I got
sounds
you
like-
rocked.
What do you, as someone
do I
who's
think
seen,
happens?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think you do a lot of this and you do a lot of this.
You have Guitar Hero training, right?
Right. So. All right. That's
I like
Guitar Hero.
the
So.
I mean, basically, you've just played a Weezer song. All right, so let's get you a couple chords. Let's start with some monkey. Let's start with
God.
some chords.
He has the volume knob.
So G. So G.
G.
So I don't know how Jeff you play G. I play G like this.
Yes, that's how I also play. When I was learning as a kid, I like this. My G was my favorite because you get to flip people off while you're
Yeah,
playing.
like
So
that. Don't look at my fingers; it'll confuse you. Don't look
You
directly
can
at
also
my fingers.
play the bar chord C.
Which you should probably pay the bar chords because you are rocking on the guitar. So we could do a 3-note bar chord.
So.
So what you want to do is you want to take your first finger,
That's your index finger.
your next finger, and you want to put it on this little guy right here. Bing, bing, bing.
3rd fret.
3rd fret.
See the dot.
And the top string are all strings, or?
Just the top string, and you
Okay.
want to have your finger about in the middle of the fret. So you don't want it hugging that. There you go. Because
Okay.
then as you hug it too far close here, you're gonna get like a buzz.
And then I hit all the strings on here, or is just one?
Not yet, not yet.
All right.
So now you're gonna take these other 2 fingers here, these next 2, and you're gonna place one on the 2nd, the 5th fret here.
Ooh.
Oh, do the pinky. Do this one. So you're gonna do this guy here,
Yeah.
and then keep that guy in place up there, and then that guy. It's
But
our-
really
the giggling, yeah, just like a little up here. So first off, that looks horribly painful.
Yeah.
So now what you want to do is you want to kind of strum, but mainly just the top 3 strings. So that's mission control. That's your G. So the middle finger is going to go down on the 4th string right there, like you're touching a woman. Not like you're digging out shit with
that.
your teeth.
There you go.
That's
So you know what? you'll actually be able to play a whole lot of stuff just by moving that up and down, staying in the exact
It
same
really
position.
hurts though.
Yes.
It doesn't feel
Playing,
comfortable.
it's playing guitar, my
Yes.
friend.
That's what it's like.
That's why you get calluses on your fingers.
That's
see?
you just like you put your fingers in really uncomfortably weird positions. That's playing the guitar.
It's just
pretty
like
much any-
dating.
any- Yep, there you go.
There you are. Mission Control. AKA the G chord.
The
There you
G.
go.
Right? Like a singing baby.
All right, moving on to the C.
That's my G.
I love it. Mission Control. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna play that, and then you're gonna take all your fingers and slide them up to this fret here.
What fret is that?
I'm gonna tell you in a second. It's 1 dot you're on now.
Yeah.
Go up 2 dots and then a half. Up 2 dots and then a half, and then a half. Give that bitch a strum.
You got it. There it is. Don't watch out, middle finger. Get it down there. Get it down.
I'm just doing the first three.
Yeah.
First three.
So now slide it back. So let's work on sliding it. So slide back to the 1 dot. Now slide 2 dots and a half. 1, 2 and a half.
Yeah!
Get it? All right, go back to G. Slide her down to G. Slide.
Just do it a few times. Just do that a
Ow,
few times.
sliding hurts.
Yeah,
Sliding
sliding
picks on
hurts.
these fingers.
Oh yeah. But it makes that awesome sound. You know that awesome sound?
I agree with him. You're just like, where do I can't get him. I can't hold him. Down. I made these 5 pick finger holders. It seems such a great idea when my fingers start sliding.
Oh my god.
All right.
Keep going. There it is. Keep going. There it is.
2 and a half. And then back to G. Back to G.
I like that. And now,
Then-
yeah.
Now what you're gonna do, this is gonna be tricky. You ready for this?
Yeah.
You're gonna lift up your index finger and slide these guys down here.
It's as if your index finger was on one that's beyond the
There,
end.
right there, perfect. Stop.
See, it's your.
Leave your
Yeah, I hear
Leave
you.
your
got
this
that?
one. Leave your this one.
Yeah.
Leave your this one.
Leave what?
Leave it on. Get this one
You need
back
the
on.
middle one down.
No,
There you
in
go.
the where.
I wasn't using that one the whole time.
You gotta start
Yeah,
using
you gotta
this
use
with
that.
E. Otherwise,
It's
it's gonna
very
sound like
essential.
this.
That's an E minor.
So now try to go to G. Go slide back up to the
Hold on,
1 dot
actually,
with
my
that.
fingers need a break a little bit.
There's no breaks. The audience
here.
is clamoring.
Yeah, we're not gonna
They're
montage through
chanting. They're
this.
chanting your rock name.
Put it on easy mode. Put it on easy mode.
Now 2 and a half. Two and a half dots. Half dot.
There
Back
it
to
is.
G. Back to 0. Mission
Yeah.
control. Give me.
Thumbs up now.
Lose it all the way down.
Lose your first finger.
Lose your index.
I can just slide it off.
Yeah! Edit the part where I was trying at.
Does it hurt? Is it hurting?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like
get
not-
back.
Hurts
Hurt
good
it?
though. It hurts real
It
good.
hurts really good.
Yeah.
It just takes a little time for my fingers to do the magic.
Well, let's start to train them to
Alright.
do magic.
Alright.
Here we go. You literally missed the guitar. Okay, why did that sound like poop?
How come you're looking here? Why are you looking here? Are you afraid you'll miss the?
Where should I look?
Look there.
Okay.
That's what's important, right? You know what to strum.
Good point. Good point. I like that. I like that. That was very helpful. Where were you with the guidance? That was the guidance.
All I was doing
That
was
was
making fun of you.
Take your eye off the ball. Keep your eyes looking forward.
No, you want to keep your eye on the ball. I thought. I always heard
No,
that.
this is my eyes on the ball. This is looking.
That was
forward.
eyes on
you
your
don't, you don't
balls.
put
No,
your
it's the
eye on
other
the
way.
ball in basketball.
Oh.
Look where you're going.
I thought we were talking baseball.
Or golf, or tennis, or any other ball sport besides that. Even in bowling, I think you're supposed to stare at the ball.
It's really uncomfortable and like not fun. Like
It
I feel
does
like,
get
is it really fun
you-
to play?
you-
When you
fun
have
is
to
when
do this
girls
weird
hear it.
things?
The funny is when girls hear it.
Here's another tip. Another pro tip. Your palm should never hit the back of the thing. You should.
What?
What? Oh, right.
Yeah, you should. It should be away. You should look. See how my thumb is kind of. I'm playing like that.
Got it now. Yeah, that was big.
Yeah.
Alex,
Okay,
what
Mr.
are
Big
you
Tips over
doing?
here. No, I supplied all the equipment. So let's try it. Why don't you add some vocals and let's see where we're at.
Damn becomes a.
Too far, way too far. You gotta sing the high one now.
goes.
Man.
Yeah.
Keep going, it's not done yet.
Now we're back to G.
What a mess. Damn becomes a.
Yes! I love it! Do you love it? A little bit, or is it still?
I wish it was more. This is like uncomfortable, whereas like playing the drums, the piano, like the doing of it's fun. I like the reward of when it sounds good, but the hand positions aren't fun. But obviously, if I were to do it all day, every day, it would eventually become just muscle memory, right?
Yeah, or even not all day, every day. I probably haven't picked up a guitar in weeks.
have to look to Alex for validation. Just rock it. Just rock it. Look at your hand. Let it happen.
Damn, it comes up. That made it noise.
There you go.
That was not what we thought. That was the chair. That was the chair.
Damn, it comes up.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. In the finger. There it is.
Man.
Yeah, you like the E. You like the E.
But it wasn't good that time. Man.
Oh,
Very good.
fancy. I don't know you're gonna put some.
Stank on it. Man. Yeah, smell the stank.
Man.
There you go.
Yes. I like the rock face. Sort of semi-questioning.
Damn, it comes up.
Let it go.
That was so 60s psychedelic. Man.
I like how he's like so happy too. He's like, I'm gonna really do this.
I'm gonna fucking sing my jam right now, guys. Hold on. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
You
You were rocking it.
Damn, it comes up. Man.
Almost a liar. One more to
okay.
Damn. Oh.
It's alright, muted, but it's okay.
You know, here's the lesson that you're
Yeah.
teaching yourself right now.
Yeah, just like push it.
Selling it is 90%.
Oh my God, that's
what I'm
rock.
doing.
That's rock
I'm trying
right
to
there.
sell it, although I didn't sell very well.
The
but-
Ramones made a whole career out of that.
Shall we try to do a trio, a
Yeah, let's do
threesies? Ready, Dan? Are you ready to rock
Here
with
we
the
go.
boys?
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That was the.
I was it. I was like, when a man can't win, you
That
go.
was not me.
You aborted right at the very last second.
All right, let's rush through it.
Let's try to lay one down.
All right, here we go. This is for the
All right,
real.
ready?
This is for the mini. Money.
this is
Mini,
for
money,
the-
mini.
We're rolling on this one.
We're rolling on this one. Oh God, has Mike been rolling?
Always
on it?
record. Always record. Tenacious D reference.
Yes.
Damn becomes a man. Damn becomes a man.
So pretty big release this week in video games, and as we stated, obviously, things are a little weird.
Wonky.
Our schedule's off. We're outside the studio. So we've been playing Infamous this week, but we're shooting early, so we haven't played probably as much of it as I know I would have liked. And
Right.
I'm sure you guys agree. So maybe this will be. I've actually played many hours, but it's a very big game.
Yeah.
So maybe this will be sort of our initial impression, at least.
First 10 hours in. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, well, I think I've actually spent more than that, but still haven't finished it, so take that with a grain of salt. Anyway, Infamous is the PS3 exclusive open world. It's basically a superhero game. You wake up after an explosion with the ability to use electricity in various ways. And the city has been destroyed, and you can roam about the city, and there's bands of kind of looks like mutated
Reapers.
Yeah, odd people around, and the city has become very violent, and so you get to use these electricity powers to re-establish power in various parts of the city. The game kind of alternates between the open world, leaping to the top of buildings and flying around and zipping across railroad lines, and then the below the surface, very platformy elements that where you reestablish the electricity in the city. And this is from Sucker Punch, who has very much platforming roots, having done the Sly Cooper games. So, Dan, this seems like a game you would really like.
It does seem that way, yeah. And I did really like the Sly Cooper games. And this really is much more of a reskinned Sly Cooper game. At least the last one was much more open worldy. The last Sly Cooper game, and this far much more akin to the Sly Cooper games than I thought it was going to be. I don't know why I didn't have more. I thought I should have had much more fun playing this game than I was having playing the game. I think that the games it's similar to, or it's very similar to Crackdown, and it's not nearly as fun as Crackdown. And I think, for me, Crackdown, Bionic Commando, and Mirror's Edge all do such an amazing job of creating the sensation of what the character is doing, and that feeling of exploration through, in Crackdown, those huge jumps, and Mirror's Edge gliding through places, and in Bionic Commando, that swing. And I felt that way, and I could just roam around the world freely, just wanting to feel that way, and playing is so fun. And combat in some of those games was really inventive. Not Mirror's Edge, obviously. And in this game, it didn't feel that way. I just felt like I was spamming the X button to get up, and whereas in Crackdown, that was such a joyous experience trying to get vertical. Unlocking the power where you float helped a lot.
And I thought skimming along the rail.
Skimming along the rail definitely helped, because you could start to, just sort of chain.
And not just rails, but also
train tracks.
Lines.
Yeah, the lines.
Or,
power lines.
Power lines.
Yeah. Absolutely, it helps because you sort of use those to navigate. But ultimately, and combat is very arduous for me. Not as fun as some of the other games, combat-wise.
Interesting.
So. But, it's kind of fun, but not I thought it was going to be all my favorite things wrapped into one.
Yeah.
So far, it's not.
What about you, Alexander?
Well, it's very interesting because this game to me felt more like Force Unleashed than it did.
Well, there's certainly blue electricity and red electricity.
I think
very
Force.
Similar.
Evil's red, blue is good.
And that's a big point I didn't even mention when I was kind of introing the game, is that this game has a very big
Karma system.
Good and evil, and you have different powers when you're good than when you are evil.
I actually really enjoyed this game. I'm sort of surprised that Dan didn't. I don't know why. We need to go to dinner or something so we can get connected on our vibes. The thing that I actually liked about this game was that I couldn't just pop up in some cool way up every building. That I almost felt that the part of the fun that I was having was, I know that I can't just jump from this building to that building. So my fun was, but I think I can jump from this building to that fire escape.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so then it was like, once I get to the fire escape, and literally in midair, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make the fire escape. That I can definitely climb up that pipe, and then zipping over to the pipe. So it was almost more like I had the fun puzzleness of not just, I know I can hit my button and jump so high that I get onto this thing. It was a little bit of a challenge of, and then it wasn't
like Assassin's Creed where you just push up and hold a button and
you watch him. No. It was like
there's areas where you definitely can't get up here.
Right,
you
exactly.
have to go around to
you have
another
to figure out how to do it.
Well,
and Crackdown.
I have to say though about Assassin's Creed where that while that made things a little too easy, the animations were so fluid in Assassin's Creed
it was satisfying watching.
Yeah, and this game, I don't know if you guys experienced, there's something in the way he moved up those things that was a little bit not pop. I don't know.
I would say
here's
it's not the level of Assassin's Creed, but I didn't have a problem with it per se.
But here's the other thing is that I think, because I had that initially when I would just spam X.
Yeah.
But if you don't spam X and you think about where am I going to shoot for, the animations actually chain together much better. Because I did have the same problem where you're just sitting there and you're like X, 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 X. It was it was very jerky, but then when I was like, I'm gonna go to this and jump to that pipe and then go climb the pipe and then stand and then climb to that little ledge and then pull up, I started to see the animations getting together. And then also hanging and shooting the thing was really fun. So I actually had a really, really good time. This is probably the most fun that I've had in an open world game before. And it may be because this game allows you to be as linear as you want, very specifically, or as non-linear as you want. So what I ended up doing, the problem I have with these open world games is I don't know what the F I'm supposed to do at any time. And even when it's like, I get a phone call and it's like, hey, go do this, I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to be doing main mission or if that's like sidesies or what. With this game, you can go to the blue thing and that will continue along and you can just do all blue quests, which are the main quests. Or along the way, I would literally be like, oh, but I want to get more XP because I want to increase this thing. I'm just going to stop and see what this thing was. And I thought the quest variations were actually really cool. I mean, some of the like, don't be seen while you got to follow the guy around and take the thing. The other one where you had to like, did you do the one where you had to take
the don't be seen ones were a little annoying, but
they are definitely annoying. But then the like staying on the train and clearing the tracks and powering the train.
That was cool.
And then did you do the one where you had to get rid of the security system all along the wall? Oh my God, it was just a spelunking puzzle where you had to figure out how do I get to the thing and how do I stand enough and jump and.
It's cool.
So I had a blast. I was really sort of surprised because it was open world and usually not what I like.
I liked it too, and I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm excited to finish it. I think it's pretty clear that Sucker Punch were big fans of Crackdown.
Yeah. Oh.
It is Crackdown. I mean, to the point where you clear parts of the city and then those become
safe zones,
safe
and,
areas. Exactly. And the rolling out of the powers feels very similar. I mean, it's just the light and dark element is the only thing different, and no driving. But boy, does it feel the same. And I agree with you that I think actually Crackdown's a better game. It sounds blasphemous to say because Crackdown didn't get a lot of street cred, a lot of hardcore gamer cred, and this game is for some reason, but I think Crackdown's a better made. The city itself is designed better. It is more varied and more interesting, just from a graphic design sense.
Yeah.
I was all excited when the new island opened up because I thought, oh, it's going to look so different from the island I was on, but it didn't really.
Yeah.
But that being said, I agree with you, Alex, that the missions themselves are really pretty cool, and there's a lot of different ones. There's one that I played where you have to escort a group of protesters, and instead of where most games you just arrive and there'd be a pack of protesters that you need to escort, this one they like recruited them from the streets and they would sort of assemble and join up with the parade as it was going along. It was cool.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very enjoyable, worthwhile game. It's going to give you a lot of value for your dollar because there's a lot to do and very lengthy main storyline and tons of side quests. So I think it's cool, but you kind of would you say not even buy it?
No. It's worthwhile, but it just doesn't touch any of the games that it's similar to that I think are.
You just wanted to be swinging around.
Better. Well, I definitely want to be swinging around, which is
jumping
frustrating
around
that
a
I
little
didn't
bit more
have.
fluidly.
But I wanted more fluidity. I wanted.
I agree.
Because I
see
think
that.
all those things, like getting those things, it was the spelunking mission, as you just said. It was just like. I'm just doing it. There was no. It didn't create this wonderful sensation. I just like.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll create a wonderful sensation for you later.
Yeah.
Dan.
Nah. What?
When we go to E3, which is actually on as you're watching this, obviously we're
So we are
shooting-
there.
Yes. And
Time.
not only that, we're doing live streaming episodes with our buddies at Co-op, so you should be checking out revision3.com. I think it's
Tuesday, Wednesday,
I think
Thursday?
it's /E3 or something like that. They're calling it Revision E3.
Oh, okay.
We're there. We're helping co-host. You're going to see our live reactions, so definitely check that out. But since we're sitting here now in real time, not knowing what we're experiencing then, it's a paradox.
It is.
So new rules, everyone. New rules.
Wow.
Pizza only upside down.
So here's the thing. We're going to talk a little bit about the things that we're excited about to see when we get to E3.
Yes.
And because I think that there are really some stuff that's already leaked out that is really exciting. And I will start by saying that definitely this year, the company that makes me the most excited is Sony and the PlayStation 3. Now, that may be because we don't know a lot of the stuff that Microsoft is going to be announcing, and by the time you're seeing this, Microsoft will have rolled that out. And word on the street is there's going to be some big surprises. So maybe I'll be wowed, but right now, Heavy Rain, Uncharted 2, and the third game from the Ico Shadow of the Colossus guys, all three of those we've seen trailers for, and all three of them are really looking spectacular to me. Alex, what about you?
I agree 2/3 of those things.
Which is the third that you want to throw out of that mix?
I'm not really excited about Heavy Rain at all. I watched it and it's like, I feel like it's one of those old like Sega CD, you walk through and it's like hit X and then you'll see the scene where you talk to the guy. And it's like, what if I don't want to talk to the guy?
Have to. I know you would feel. I would have felt that way because when we read the trailer before we read the old trailer before I played Indigo Prophecy. You have to play Indigo Prophecy.
All right, I will play Indigo Prophecy.
That because it
because the QuickTime event stuff that we saw to me was like, it's like it's better technology than Dragon's Lair, better, because you don't just immediately die, the string goes longer and you get to watch cool shit happen, but at the end of the day, it's Dragon Slayer.
Yeah.
It's go this way. Oh, you didn't go that way. Okay, so now you have to go this way, then that way. If you had just gone this way, you wouldn't have seen any of this stuff.
Right.
It's good technology, but that does not, I am not excited to sit down and watch that interactive movie. You know what I mean? Because for the most part, I don't think that video game stories and acting and all of that stuff is usually told any better than a movie that I would go see. And if really what I'm doing is seeing a movie that every once in a while I go, Square. I'll go watch a movie and I'll do this.
Well, Microsoft is going to be rolling out Halo ODST.
Well, but I did want to say real quick, I agree wholeheartedly, and I think Infamous, to me, is the thing that really made me turn the corner on the PlayStation 3.
Oh, good.
Because I thought
It's a
that...
good corner.
Yeah, because it was the first time that, like, the controller felt right in my hands. It just felt next gen, and it's really the first time, because there are other... Even with Drake's Uncharted, I was like... I didn't think it looked all that great. I thought the combat wasn't that much fun. I mean, this is all my review from back in the day, and I didn't. It felt wrong playing it on that controller.
Right.
But with this game, I was like, the PS3 has some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, rumor has it we might get a motion controller from Microsoft. We're definitely going to get Halo ODST, which is the new Halo spin-off that doesn't involve Master Chief.
Interesting.
I really can't muster up excitement about that. But
Yeah, me neither.
Dan, I know that Eco and Shadow
Last
Colossus-
year, what was the thing I was most excited for last year?
the possibility of this being announced.
Yes, the
Yeah.
possibility of another
And
Team Eco
the
game.
trailer which has hit, the thing that I twittered about was that it reminded me of that feeling of watching Neverending Story.
Yes.
And
oh,
going,
that trailer is forget it.
Right?
That trailer is.
And
I
those
know you're
guys-
gonna kill this thing, and it's gonna destroy me.
Here's the thing. You guys absolutely must
Yeah.
play Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, because if you think this trailer,
Right.
there is a horse in
Yes,
Shadow of the
yes,
Colossus.
yes. Everyone
and
knows about the horse.
Artex, my friends,
Yes.
is also a character in Neverending Story.
That's funny.
This game basically combines, in Ico, you dragged a blind girl around as you did your thing.
That seems
and
really awkward.
and in Shadow of the Colossus, you were paired with a
terrible joke.
companion,
Thank you.
and in Shadow of the Colossus, you fought huge beasts. So this third one seems to be
All of them.
A huge
full
beast as your
circle,
companion.
And although you did have a horse companion, as I just mentioned, these are the greatest games of all time, and now we're getting the third one, and it's next gen. And by the way, the other games that you guys be playing, you won't be that upset about the graphics,
Right.
Because what they did
stylized.
is all the next gen stuff, bloom effects.
Yeah.
No
you
HUD.
always say bloom. When you talk- every time you're talking about these games, you say bloom.
Look, it's bloom, no HUD. It's
like the
those
brother
were the
bloom
things.
here.
Those were the next gen things, bloom and no HUD. They were all in these games.
Yes.
Yeah.
My friends.
Okay, let's talk about something else. Is there anything, I know this is the exact same question I asked last year at this time.
Okay.
Is there anything Nintendo can say that will make you guys excited? Because I know
Not
we
me.
get a lot of heat from
next gen system,
HD Wii.
or a new
Or just
the Nintendo.
New Mario wouldn't do it for you. A new Zelda wouldn't
No.
do it for
No,
you.
I'd be stoked for a new Mario. I love Mario Galaxy, so I would be stoked for it.
It was all right. I mean,
I don't think that either of those are going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's just say I think it would be hard
I
pressed
know.
for them to fail as miserably as they did last year
It'd be pretty
with
sweet.
music. The sound of professionals slaughtering music.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I hate to be such a.
What are
such
the
a hater,
okay? Let
but-
me just throw this out. Metroid, Zelda. We just got Punch Out, Mario, Contra. I can think maybe.
Well,
What's another
They already
classic?
did the new Contra for DS, which was.
I know, but I'm thinking, what if it's not side scroller? What if
Well,
it's
Kid Icarus.
But then that's not.
I like Kid Icarus.
Every year everybody says Kid Icarus,
Yeah.
and I don't
Is there
think
another
that-
classic Nintendo?
What about a new IP? What about?
Well, yeah.
something-
Well, that's just.
I mean,
how can I get excited about that?
But what kind of thing would you?
You're not excited about the
could-
random new IP that you've
well,
never
you
heard
could,
of?
You could
Damn,
come
I'm
up
not
with some
describing it
concept that works on the Wii. That
I know what I'm
is
excited
unique
for.
to the
I'll
Wii.
tell you right now what I'm excited for.
Oh,
Tell me right
I
now.
will tell you
Just got
right now.
excited.
Wesley, Wide Awake Wesley from our forums, twittered. I don't know if you guys clicked on some freaking scary game from on the Wii, and they were showing a clip of people playing it on YouTube. Night vision cameras capturing
Yeah.
these people.
And you don't know what game this is?
Holding the Wii controller and then throwing the controller down. I mean, people.
What game was it?
I have no idea what it's called.
Fatal Frame? Is
No,
it like a new Fatal Frame?
It was like some new scary game
Interesting.
that looks like it's going to scare the crap out of all of us.
So you heard it here first. Dan Trachtenberg announcing the new Luigi's Mansion.
Epic. All right, before we get to our email, we do want to thank our sponsors, such lovely sponsors as Squarespace.com. Of course, we've talked about Squarespace ad infinitum.
That's because we love them.
We love them some Squarespace. I'm redoing my website, alexalbright.com, on Squarespace. All of our sites are done on Squarespace. It is the best WYSIWYG editor you have ever seen, and they have amazingly robust servers. Kevin, they do Kevin's site too, and Kevin's site did something, put something up on Dig, and Dig didn't take the site down, and so Kevin called Dane and was like, hey, so I guess you have me on some sort of super fancy, and he goes, no, that's like our $8 account. So you never have to worry about your site going down. Super, super
I just
low
updated
cost.
my site, finally.
Finally, I saw the blog post, very nice.
Yeah. And my site actually, I don't know if you know this or not, but it was recently voted Miss California.
Really?
Yes.
Amazing.
Homophobic. Sorry.
No, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's not that kind of show. Anyway, head over to squarespace.com and use the coupon code TRS when you check out, and you will get 10% off the lifetime of your website. Go do it.
We're also talking to you about Brutal Legend, which you saw Dan learning a little bit of rock.
What about learning?
You probably want to be able to rock because they're giving away a guitar. There's some interesting stuff about this. They're giving away, if you pre-order at GameStop, you can get an insane Tenacious D design guitar in the game.
Crazy.
And if you sign up for news at brutallegend.com, you can enter for a chance to win a real life
they have a
version,
crazy, like $10,000
$10,000 version of the Tenacious D guitar.
Love it.
Incredible. Also, Tim Schafer, who we love, who is the awesome designer of this game, of Psychonauts, hilarious guy, hosted the GDC Game Awards this last year. I got to see live, and he's hilarious. He is doing a live chat on the first night of E3, which is the 2nd of June.
Yep.
Maybe tonight?
Maybe.
Depending on when you're seeing this?
Yeah.
At 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you go to e3.brutallegend.com, you can participate. Check that out.
Can't wait to get my hands on the keys or the strings.
The keys.
We're also sponsored by GoDaddy.com. GoDaddy, of course, is where you get your piece of the internet.
That's what they say.
Plan start is low, or you can get web domains. Sorry, plans do not start, but web domain names for $1.99. Easy to use startup software.
It's awesome. Privacy settings. Privacy settings.
It's really the place to go for
everything.
Web.
Yeah.
Everything web.
Even if I'm just curious if a site exists or doesn't exist,
Yeah.
I'm always on GoDaddy. So GoDaddy.com, 10% off your order if you put in the promo code TRS1 or
You can go to revision3.com/GoDaddy and you can see all the promo codes for all the Revision 3 shows.
There you go.
Love it, love it, love it. Also, Film Riot, new show from Rev3 is coming out. You guys
Looks
have
really
to
funny.
check it out. And also, triple alsos, E3 coverage is going through the joint on this here network.
Yeah, you saw us. You heard me mention it in the game segment of our show. But we're doing live streams. We're gonna do a big wrap up. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Did I?
No. We're totally full of streams. Streams is we're gonna cross
don't
the
cross the
streams.
streams.
Wait, we're not gonna cross the streams.
I just want to say with Film Riot, Film Riot is a show about how to make movies, how to do special effects, and
those guys are
they do sketches.
skilled.
And I only saw the promo because we're recording this before the show actually comes out.
Yeah.
And it looks awesome.
It's gonna be awesome. Check them out. All right, shall we get to the email?
Which is located on the
iPhone because we're out in the wild.
Also brought to you by iPhone.
Hey guys, how's it hanging? I'm graduating in about 2 weeks. I'm on the 4.5-year plan. I did 4+ summer.
I did 5 years.
Okay. And
Loved every
you
minute of it.
didn't graduate. That's okay. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. From college located in what I call Taint of Pennsylvania. Okay, that's a place. I mean, it's actually a place. I'm mega stoked to be going home to the Philly area. Wah, wah, wah. And one of the places that I don't have here that I've really missed over the years is Wawa. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, Dan and Alex. Nope. We do.
I'm gonna guess he goes to Kutztown.
Oh, interesting.
Blowing that out.
No West Coast love from the Wawa Corp. My question is, what is the one thing you miss the most from your hometown or city? Keep rocking the rad, Maddie. Good question. Good question. Danzig, from the Philadelphia area.
As I am also from the Philadelphia area, I too
Maybe Wawa.
really do miss Wawa. Wawa was great because Wawa is the thing that whenever you go and you say Wawa, we all from Philly, we go to college and everyone is like, what the hell's Wawa? As
Yes,
you're
I'm
probably
doing
thinking.
right now.
Yeah,
Of course.
It's 7-Eleven. It's 7-Eleven except free ATMs, which was awesome back in the day when you used them a lot.
I like how
never charge you a fee.
Right.
And they have delicious subs, so you can get the best meatball sandwiches in Philly are at Wawa.
How about that?
So you get like sandwiches made
Wawa
there, but
subs.
really good.
So for you personally,
So Wawa is definitely one of them. Cheesesteaks are absolutely one of them. I like Jim's and I like Pat's and Gino's equally. They are the same. I've had 2 of each on the same night. I promise you they are the same. People lie to you when they say one is better than the other. I am Whiz with. I am Whiz with fried onions. Absolutely.
See, I knew what that was.
I'm Pizza Whiz with actually.
that sounds
pizza
disgusting.
sauce.
Oh,
And I don't miss scraping ice off my car.
Yeah.
But I do miss
weather.
the seasons. I do miss the smell of Halloween.
Yeah,
Which is the smell of fall, and you don't have that here.
Interesting. We don't have that here.
Yeah, true.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Jeffy.
I'm
up
from
north
Northern
just a bit.
California, so I get to go home relatively frequently. So I'll start off with my family. Miss my family.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. I also miss my radio station, Live 105 in the Bay Area.
interesting.
Was just nothing like it here. It was very commercial rock, but it was also had a really kind of its own mentality, kind of underground indie tinge there.
Gotcha.
And all the great stuff in San Francisco. There's a million places to go and see and do, and the people and sourdough bread bowls of clam chowder at Fisherman's Wharf, like great food too.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm gonna say my family also.
Great.
But,
I'm the jerk.
Yeah. You didn't get a chance to do that, did you? I'm gonna say for me it's a little bit weird because the thing that I actually miss is Subway sub sandwiches. Now
But
here's
that is
why.
a franchise chain, sir.
And I eat them regularly here. I believe I had one for lunch today, and I believe that because it's true. What I miss about Subway Sub is that in Virginia, my hometown, the Subway substation places had this pepper dressing. It's like minced pepper dressing. It's like the sweet peppers and the hot peppers minced together. It is to
Is it one
die for.
specific Subway in your home, or is it like?
So far,
They just didn't
it
get
is
the delivery
sporadic.
in the West.
Honestly, so far it's sporadic. Everywhere around where I live, it is. Some little bit up north, not there. Maryland, I went into, or even Alexandria. I went to Alexandria, Virginia. Didn't have the pepper dressing. And from what I can glean, it is something that the manager of the place has to add. I've
like
looked
just
to
your
see.
manager is like, I'm gonna.
I've looked to see.
I got some ideas.
No. I've looked to see if I can purchase it myself because for me, Subway was always better than all of the other sub places because of this dressing. That's what made Subway Sub the V-cut and the dressing. So I move out to California.
get them as a
no
sponsor.
dressing. Hated it. I was like, damn it, no dressing. Then guess what Subway did? No V-cut.
I'm glad.
Oh
that
no,
I hated the V-cut.
Oh, I loved it. The V-cut and the dressing. So that's for me.
What else I miss about back home is being in like reality. The town
there
where
goes reality. Nope,
the town we live in right now is funded by an industry like where there are
Yes.
Pittsburgh is there's coal mining towns, and our town is very rooted in this industry. And as much as I loved
And are
it from
part of it,
afar
yeah.
and I'm a part of it, I really do miss like going to the supermarket and there's
It's just
normal people
family
there
going
and
to
it's-
their day-to-day.
There's
People
a
don't
doctor
realize that.
and
It's tangible.
Yeah,
It is
it's
tangible.
It's very different people, and here it's just like we're all the same.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a pretty
Nobody's
apropos
working
question
in the middle of the afternoon.
because we are not in our home right
That's
now.
right.
We're away from home.
We're building our new home.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you would like to have your email answered on the show, please feel free to send them to fans@totallyradshow.com. That's where you would send a background, like today.
Ours provided by Los Angeles, California.
Los Angeles City Council, whatever that
nature.
means. By nature. So please send your emails, fans@totallyradshow.com.
And those backgrounds, we love getting them. Also, we love getting our missions. If you want to see yourself at the beginning of our show, check out our missions page. It's totallyradshow.com/missions. You'll find out what we're going to be talking about that week. Make a video of yourself telling us to do that, send it to us, and you might find yourself at the beginning of our episode.
Yep.
Super cool.
And that way you will also find out the movie review, which you can find on our site as well. Which, check because we don't really know.
Yeah, we're shooting early
And
this week, so
it's
Yeah.
definitely The Hangover. We know that for certain, and hopefully some of the other movies that are coming on. There are
And
a few
Up,
of them.
aren't we going to do Up?
Oh, and Up will be a week late. Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you're curious about a review of Up, thank you for bringing that up.
No problem.
Oh!
Umlaut.
You know what else you can find out about movie stuff?
What? /film.com. I was
Yeah.
actually going to say congratulations. First time being on the /Filmcast.
Super fun. Dan set the bar pretty high.
I think my invitation has somehow been lost in the mail. As the
Those
only
guys
guy.
are
Pretty soon
awesome.
Mike is going to be on the /Filmcast. I'm going to be like, guys? Yeah, no, /Film is where we get all of our movie news. Great guys
Those
over
guys
there.
are rad, and,
Yeah.
and you should, if you are just getting around to seeing Terminator Salvation and you're interested in hearing a more in-depth my take and those guys' take, we just did the
Interesting.
/Filmcast last week, and it's,
Love it.
So there's a lot of yelling.
It's good. Also, check out jinx.com/TRS for all of our merch stuff. We are going to be phasing out the hoodies like very soon and bringing out a new hoodie and some limited edition stuff, which I think I'm very excited about. So anyway, that is it for this week's edition of the Totally Rad Show. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Jeff Canada.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
Until next time, get outside and get some sun.
Right now, you guys are hating on LaBeouf.
I'm not hating on the
I'm
booth.
not hating on LaBeouf, dude.
No, there's a, but he's
no.
Pussy
I'm
Boy.
hating on the concept of LaBeouf as an action star.
That's
But that's
what
what
I'm hating on.
But that's what has happened. I mean, that is what our action stars are today. They're
But
people
I-
that are sort of
I
running
don't
around.
think Eagle Eye's an action.
No one-
is an action movie starring an action star. It's a
That
thriller.
is today's crop of action movies are those kinds of movies. We don't have big muscly guys muscling their way through sequences, through action sequences. We don't have that. We have real guys. We have anti-heroes now. What would you consider Taken? Is that also
An
a
action
thriller?
movie. No, that's an action movie because
Yeah,
he's
that's-
kicking ass.
Right. Okay.
That's
but
an action star in an action movie.
Yeah, he's actually doing
he's not the
stuff.
same kind of action star. He's not big. He's not the muscly guy.
Because I was gonna say that's Commando.
Yeah,
But it's the same.
But it's
kind-
not Eagle
An action
Eye.
star is the star of an action movie. And Transformers, my friends, is an action movie.
the star of the action movie. The star of Transformers is Optimus Prime.
I knew you were gonna say that, but that's not true.
It is.
That's not true.
Shia LaBeouf is the
realistic.
comedic sidekick to Optimus Prime through the whole freaking movie.
That's not true.
Jason
You're
Statham
saying
is-
things have changed, and I'm agreeing with you that things have changed, and I don't even think we can apply the same label because things have changed so much.
I think
Okay, well
changing-
that's fine. That my sort of point is who do we have now that would be
Jason
what we would have
Statham.
had back then?
Jason Statham.
I don't think the role that Shia LaBeouf plays in any of those movies is the role of an action star.
Right, I agree with
He's a
that,
big
Jeff.
movie star who happens to be
He's
in
a
action
big movie
movies.
star, and he's in action movies, but that does not make you an action star unless you're kicking somebody in the face.
Okay, you guys win, I guess. He's not an action
That was on
star.
tape.
Right,
That's
yes,
not
I
good.
heard the win. I heard the
You guys
win.
win.
I love it.